welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. I am Kendi Boduri.
And I am Henry Igwebike.
As usual, we are delighted to start the day with you. And as always, we begin with a quick look at today's newspaper headlines before diving into the main conversation of the day. Trust me, you don't want to miss a moment with us. You can join the conversation by liking, following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. You can also share. Thank you. So joining us virtually this morning all the way from Toronto, Canada, is Barrister Evans Ufeli. He is a barrister and a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for all.
Good morning to you, Barrister.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you so very much for your time. So let's kickstart today with the first daily on our desk, the Guardian newspaper. Interestingly, a lot of the pages are filled up with the unveiling of the new logo.
Yeah.
New logo of the Nigeria Revenue Service from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Only God knows how much was used to construct this logo. I just hope it's not in the millions.
You don't want to take a guess of the amount.
I hope it's not in the millions like that of the Nigerian Air. 30 million for website. Well, let's get to the Guardian newspaper for today. And we have the big story, actually. Venezuela, the crisis may create $10 billion hole in federal government's 58 trillion naira spending plan.
And on the top strip, we have tax law controversy deepens as National Assembly releases CTC.
And also, Tinubu unleashes security as terrorists kill 30, abduct many in Niger.
Oh, we don't really even have much on the newspapers. The last one we have U.S. action against Venezuela on democratic against international laws.
All right, so let's get talking. Barrister, the biggest news in the world right now is, would we call it abduction at this point or extrajudicial rendition? I do not know what word to use now for Nicolas Maduro. What's your take on this? What was your feeling the first time you learned that had happened?
Well, it's not a very good sight because if you look at the UN Convention, if you look at that Article 4.2 and you look at Article 51, you see that the action of the US in violation of the aforementioned articles. Okay, Venezuela is a sovereign state. I mean, even though it's bedeviled with some crisis, okay, and some level of accusation have been made and leveled against the president and all that. It would have been neater or clearer if the United States has taken actions that are within the limits of the United Nations Charter. But the action taken so far is outside the scope of the Charter, which makes it quite illegal in the eyes of international law. Okay, so when you want to brood and look at it from the standpoint of international public law, you cannot do anything but to run into that conclusion that from the eyes of law there are problems. I mean, you question yourself also whether the U.S. Congress sanctioned that particular move. Whether U.S. Congress sanctioned it and the rest of that. So a lot of comments have been made in different corners that this may lead to political instability all over the world and it does not conform to processes and procedures of international public law, and so many assertions have been made so far. But the days to come will determine where this story is going, because it's still a fledgling story. So we'll follow it up as it unfolds.
Okay,
Yes.
Definitely. And do you think this action would bring more politics than law? Like more of like analyzing the motives of what just happened. So is this action driven more by politics than law?
Well, these days, people are accentuating pragmatism, and people are trying to push forth the importance of pragmatism over law. But the danger of that is that it therefore leads to series of violations. Because if law is kept at abeyance, and then pragmatism is now, taking ahead of what law stands for, represents. Now means there will be no limit to violation. Okay. So, like I said, it's a breaking story. It's still a fledgling story. The days to come will determine how far this is going to go. Already there are commentaries from different parts of the world, from different media stations, with different international law experts and diplomacy and the rest of that. So we just watch and see where this takes us to.
All right, so we watch and see where this takes us to. And according to what was agreed in 1648, that's what they used to call Westphalian sovereignty, when the world came together to say every president is independent. No president has a right over another person's president, over another person's country's leader. Okay, the Westphalian sovereignty, has been there. So, but this is not the first time. In 1984, the same United States actually abducted Manuel Noriega from Panama. So this is not new, and we hope that something will be done to hope that this will not happen, because right now, as we speak, China is actually going after Taiwan, hoping they would invade. And Russia is still with Ukraine, hoping they would invade. So this could be a precedent here.
But the danger in that is that the danger in all this is that if you look at that Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, it talks about the fact that the country under reference that has been invaded have a right under international law and diplomacy to put up self-defense by way of striking. Yeah, by way of striking back or defending the territorial integrity of the country. Why it should not be encouraged is that whilst Article 4.2 allows for every country to manage its territorial integrity and not to be invaded by any other country, why that is stated clearly, Section 51 clearly states that in the event that any country invades another in the manner under reference, that country that has been invaded has a right under international public law to put up self-defense and resistance. You can see that it's dangerous. So it's a dangerous thing. So you can only succeed in invasion to the extent that the country invaded does not put up self-defense. So if they put up self-defense, that could escalate into some kind of war. Okay, so that's why it's not encouraging that we have. So let's respect the United Nations Charter. Countries should respect that legislation as a primary international legislation on the issue under reference. Because if you discard it and the country that you are invading takes a decision on self-defense, then it may affect even neighboring countries. So that is why it should be avoided.
Very well said. All right, let's move to Nigeria this time around. We have Tinubu unleashes security as a terrorist killed 30. Some new, the new media, right? Some people are reporting 40. Some are reporting 42. 35 or so. But for the Guardian newspaper, they say 30 killed, abducted many in Niger. Barrister, speak to us on this, especially from the perspective that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing this ordering from Paris in France. Does it really ring a bell here? Does it truly come with authority that a president that should be sitting at home ordering and watching everything while everything is being carried out is doing that from France? And we do not know why he is in France in the first place. What's your take on this, Barrister?
Well, yeah, let me get the story itself. And I know the president's in France. I didn't get the story that you read out.
Yes, the story is actually about the killing of Nigerians in Niger State by bandits. About 40 plus were killed and many were abducted. Yeah. So President Bola Tinubu had ordered that the military should go and get those who have committed this heinous crime.
Yeah, okay. I saw that news yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's just about the same recklessness we've been talking about. okay, that at a time where the president ought to have declared a state of emergency in areas affected by these bandits and insurgents, is a way out of the country. That is why the United States have consistently concluded that the federal government is not ready to fight insurgency. It's not ready. And the fact that they said it, it's not just a rhetoric. We knew that already long before now, because the way they've gone about it has not demonstrated any seriousness whatsoever. So we know that already. And look at what is going on right now. Okay, it's not just in Niger State. There's also an attack in Adamawa State. Villages were burned down in Adamawa State. The insurgents also released a statement that everyone should convert to Islam or face the consequences of that, or face the consequences of non-compliance. And they also said that they're going to collect tax from people, you know, in the process. So you can see that the threat is not just, and also in Kano, there was protest. I don't know that you are aware of that.
Yes, we saw that. Yeah, there's a protest.
There was protest in Kano against the action of the U.S. on the Christmas Day invasion and the rest of that. Then you ask yourself, who are we protesting against? Are people okay? Are you protesting against a country that came to rescue the situation, or you're protesting against your government? You understand? The truth is that this president is not able to manage Nigeria, or is not able to manage Nigeria. He has not shown any level of competence over time. And so every expression that truly this government seems to be looking the other way in the mix of varying attacks from different communities, one community to the other, is valid that this government is not doing much. It's not doing much. Look, the attacks that you have and the numbers recorded are media accounts, and most of those accounts that the media, you know, are putting out there are estimations, because the media, they are not there. They don't go there. They are also scared. So most of the times, they are making phone calls to people in the locality or something like that, and they are getting information from there. So it's really more serious than it is reported. The story of insurgency in Nigeria is underreported. Okay?
Yeah.
And so when you have insurgency all over the country, you expect that the commander-in-chief of the armed forces to be on his toe and on the situation, ordering the army, the navy, the air force, and all relevant security agencies to go curb the issue and nip this in the bud, exterminate it completely. But that is not what we're seeing. We're seeing a different thing entirely. We're seeing a different, and the National Assembly is not able to convey, to make a demand on the executive. That's the worst part of it. The National Assembly can't even do anything. Meanwhile, its responsibility is to oversight the action of the executive and bring the executive to the right direction to act and take decisions as at when due. But they are not doing anything about it. So I don't know who's going to rescue who in the circumstance under reference.
Okay. You know, we cannot overemphasize insecurity issues in the northern region of Nigeria. And this brings me to this question: why is it always Niger State? Okay, let me not use the word always. Why does Niger State remain highly vulnerable when it comes to these insecurity issues?
It's not just Niger State. Niger, I mean, okay, if you are talking about states under the strong flashpoint, you are talking about Borno State. You talk about Adamawa, okay?
Yeah.
And those two states are the flashpoint. Then Niger State, not too long, they deepened insecurity in Niger State. Then before you move to the northwest, okay?
Yeah.
So you see, the insecurity is as deep as the government have allowed it to fester uncontrollably. You know, it is the decisions of the federal government is why, look at, you have a national security advisor, for example, who have been accused by one of the presidents in one of the African countries as for providing arms and ammunition to some bandits that were caught who claimed to be hunters or vigilantes. Okay, when you have that kind of national security advisor, who is to all intents and purposes a sympathizer to this cause, then you have a problem. You have a problem at hand, a serious problem, because then the fate of the country is abdicated. It's not a priority. The fate of Nigeria is not a priority. It's some other remote interest. It's what is being served. Okay? Remote interest is what is being served. So, if you have that kind of situation, definitely, you're not going to have peace anytime soon. After the attack, you see that there's protests everywhere. The government is not able to caution the protesters in Kano who took a caricature image of Trump and they were, doing all that. And government have not said a word about it. Government have not released any statements and the rest of that, nothing like that. Even when the government issued a statement that this attack was in collaboration with the federal government and all that, the people are going after, and the government is watching. So the situation has gone out of hand in Nigeria. That is the truth. And Muslims cannot subject Christians to coercion, to force them to convert. They want to practice their religion, they can practice their religion. Okay. When I to ask people to convert under compulsion or pay tax and they'll get killed, will not be acceptable. Will not be acceptable.
Very well. So out of that, because during our main conversation, we'll have more of that discussion on the security matters and Nigeria and religion and so on. But let's move to tax for a bit, because it's the new year. The 1st of January, kicked it off, and let's get to what we have. Brace for anti-tax unrest. NRS tells security agency, Nigeria Revenue Service, that is. Barrister, I do not know, is the NRS mandated to instruct the Nigerian security architecture on what to do, because they feel that their grotesque policies won't go down well with Nigerians?
They have seen the signs already. It's not their responsibility to do that. It's the responsibility of the police to make such instructions. Okay? See, on this tax issue, there's going to be a lot of crisis, because first, you are taxing the poor. No matter what kind of innovation you have put in there, as long as you have not made the environment conducive for business to thrive and for to cover unemployment, and there's no vibrant economy, you understand? You're going to have problem with that tax process, procedures. You're going to have problem. The intention might be right, the intention might be okay to raise money and all that, but you don't raise money under an emergency situation, under poverty, and where citizens are barely surviving. Okay? That's not supposed to be the agenda of a country. A country is supposed to project, let the people scale up, scale up lifestyle, scale up medical, scale up healthcare, scale up all the essentials, okay? And then bring the people to some level of stability, stabilize, what do you call inflation, interest rate, credit facilities, and make electricity available. Okay, make the country running, make it running. Okay, before you begin to ask that they provide this or provide that, they pay this or pay that. You're not able to do that, that's a problem. Two, the analysis and explanation of the tax and the model, how they're going to collect it, they are too much and divergent. Different versions, even from government itself. Some will tell you if you make up to 800, what is in the law itself will tell you another thing. Then the one that's gazetted will be different from the one that's not gazetted. Then the one that was passed will be different from the one that is being used. So when you have such kind of foolish confusion all over the place, you have already created the recipe for non-compliance and the recipe for confusion. What is hard in having one document passed by the National Assembly, same document, gazetted, with same information, and let's have one proper legislation to work with, one document. What's wrong with that? They now have multiplicity everywhere. Everybody analyzing it, everybody giving their own version all over. There's no central unit where you can go and get information that is the true information. Even government is confused. Even the federal government does not even know the law is passed. So is that how you are going to enforce your tax? Then the next thing now brought in France into it. So I don't know. This whole thing is confusing. It boils down to lack of leadership. The APC government is not a government that can stand the test of time. And thankfully, there is opposition springing up everywhere. We have to rescue Nigeria. This government have no clue, have no system, have no methods.
It's actually quite bad. You know, yesterday someone on the social media was stating that he booked for air ticket like 2 months back, just for him from Port Harcourt to Lagos. All right, just on getting to board his flight, they were told that they needed to pay 7.8% in addition to what he booked for. He booked for 200,000 naira and was asked to pay 7.8%. That's about 17,000 something in addition to that. And when he asked why, they said it was Tinubu's money. That was what they said. According to him, it was Tinubu's tax money. So you could imagine 7.8% times. It's now all over the place. So if you're doing domestic, you know, a flight right now, you need to pay 7.8% in addition to what you had already paid. So you can see how complex, just like
so it has to do with, you know, having extra. Even
you need to have extra. So you need to be prepared for anything that comes, or else they won't allow you, you know, board.
Oh, this is serious.
It's really
that's one part you are seeing on the street. You see how they surreptitiously brought in extra charge on transfer.
Oh, okay.
On the 1st, you didn't get notification. There was notification sent by banks on the 1st, on New Year Day. Now apart from the VAT that you pay on those transfers, there's now another fee that you're paying again on it. Okay, which was attributed to the tax law just passed, but I've checked that it's not there. And then there's enforcement already. So where did that one come from? So I mean, you see that the country is not well managed.
Wow.
And then a lot of people are going to clash on it. I don't know what the level of. I'm being told that foodstuff has gone down, purchase has gone down, but everything is not foodstuff. In some country, they don't even buy foodstuff. Government brings it to you. Yes, in some countries. Yes. Where I am now, if you don't have food, you go to a food bank to take food. And you take as much as you want that can take you for the entire month. The next month you go back there, they give you another one. So when you have a country where policies are flying left, right, and center from everywhere, different places, and at the end of the day, we don't know the one that you follow. So you can imagine in a country, people in the airport, they are telling somebody that is Tinubu money, Tinubu tax money. These are supposed to be educated people. So I think we are grounding that country to death. That's what's going on. And grounding gradually to death. The country has subsisted. It has tried to breathe. Nobody will allow it breathe until now. We're talking about grounding now. That's exactly what they're doing. And then the next thing they will tell you that 2027 is around the corner.
Exactly.
They will tell you about politics. Nobody's talking about the economy. And one of the things you learn as a political scientist is political economy, because the two of them cannot be separated. As much as you discuss politics, you discuss the economy alongside it, because the economy that sustains the act of politics itself. But here, nobody cares about the economy, just about politics. If they care about the economy, they were talking about electricity, they were talking about healthcare, they were talking about the citizens, the masses, policies that will benefit the masses and that will, give them a soft landing in the scheme of things. But that's not what they're discussing at all. Nobody's discussing that. The safety of the citizens is not even guaranteed, and the government don't care about it. You're talking about the ones that are killed through insurgents. Government is not doing anything about it, let alone those that are kidnapped. Those that are kidnapped, at least they are alive. It's ransom that they have not paid. But the ones that are elderly killed, government is not doing. They are looking at the insurgents eyeball to eyeball, and that's exactly what's going on. So that's you sustain that in a country where kidnappers will call the family to bring ransom. They will get the ransom. The kidnappers will count it, and they will tell the family that it's not complete. Not complete, that they should go and get the full money or they increase it. They go and meet police. Police will communicate with the bandit. They will tell police that the reason they've not released them is because it's not complete. Police will now be running around to follow them to make the money to be complete. To go and give them. That is the country that we're discussing. We're wasting our time. This analysis is a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
It's actually so. It's funny, but it's a very serious issue. And as much as we wouldn't want to do comparisons here, lots of people are beginning to compare Nigeria and Venezuela, because that is almost the same indices, the same parameters, the same everything. Policies, draconian, grotesque policies of Nicolas Maduro on the people of Venezuela. A rich oil country like Nigeria, with the biggest oil reserve, second to Saudi Arabia. And just like Nigeria, and the leaders there have not been able to properly utilize and manage the country. And that's what we have equally in Nigeria. But we would be back, people, and that is when we return on our main conversation. Gumi accuses U.S. of labeling him a Boko Haram member. And that in a bit is still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
Thank you so very much for being back, and if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our main conversation, where we have it that the Kaduna-based Islamic cleric, Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, has alleged that the United States of America has identified him as a Boko Haram member and marked him for elimination through a military airstrike. Gumi made the claim while addressing his congregation in a viral video shared on social media on Sunday.
Very true. Now, according to the cleric, he received an early morning call from an unnamed senior official in Abuja on the same day the United States carried out airstrikes in Nigeria. The caller, he said, informed him about a national security meeting where his name was allegedly listed among individuals targeted for assassination. And
also, Gumi insisted the allegation was false and urged northern leaders and clerics to speak out against, that is, what he described as a dangerous misinformation. The claim followed the U.S. airstrikes on December 25 targeted members of the Islamic State West Africa province ISWAP in Sokoto State amid renewed statement by U.S. President Donald J. Trump threatening forceful intervention against terrorists in Nigeria. So let's get talking. We still have Barrister Evans Uferi. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for being back.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Beautiful. So let's get talking. I would love to believe you listened to that viral video. I would love to quote him. I would love to believe. Yet he said, in Hausa, that way ankirasa. That's what he said. So I'm quoting him. Yeah. He said ankirani way marking inner for extermination. So that's how he actually put it in Hausa language, which meant that they called him in the morning, just like we have from the report there, that he has been earmarked for elimination as a Boko Haram member. Barrister, is this new? Is this new, going by what we have of Sheikh Gumi in the open domain? Videos, pictures of him sitting alongside the bandits who have been made as terrorists now. Is all of this new, actually? Should we be surprised?
Well, I'm surprised they're saying he's not a member. We've seen him in the bush with them all the time, negotiating and talking. I don't know what he goes there to do. Why is he crying to the high heavens? He has been their sympathizer. He has been defending them. He has been speaking for them. At some point, he was almost their spokesman. He's been the one going up and down and negotiating for them. And he was even the one who told the federal government to give them amnesty. He told the federal government that the bandits are our children. Okay, people that are born in villages, killing people and all that, they are our children. We should give them amnesty and all the rest of that. But from all going on, there's something I want you guys to look into.
Okay.
Anywhere such decision must have been taken, if it is true, must be at the highest echelon of the security discourse in the country. Now you can see how porous our security this thing is. Somebody that may be a member of that security council may be the one that have put that call through to him. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
And he's saying it openly. It's not everybody that can have that information. Anybody that have that information will be in the inner carcass of the security architecture of the country. And for that person to be leaking the information to him tells you how porous our system is. Little wonder when the United States soldiers came in during the Jonathan era and had put up strategy to get the Boko Haram insurgents eliminated through a gas device that they were supposed to use to freeze all of them. The moment they got into operation, the Boko Haram were already having marks covering their nose. They were already having oxygen kits. So whilst the United States was planning with our soldiers, the Boko Haram people have been informed as to the strategy and the attack the United States wanted to use. And that was why they left. Because before they activated the operation, these guys already have oxygen marks with them. So that is the same pattern that's going on now. That information that is with earmarked for one of the, couldn't have been an information that was sourced in the market or written all over the post office or anywhere you go, you see it on the ground. It must have been a top-notch security secret. And then somebody called the target to tell the target that. So you see how we enable the insecurity itself. We're the ones enabling it. That is why the allegations that the aircraft used to land in the forests with arms and ammunition and all that cannot be unfounded. The politicians cannot be extricated from this whole arrangement. Top Nigerians cannot be extricated from this whole arrangement. Because you can see the kind of assault rifles this guy carry. Who is funding it? Who is funding them? And the rest of that. So, because see, he made that statement for his own safety. But the statement has further, opened the can of worms, like giving us a clue as to why we cannot defeat insurgency. Why we cannot defeat them, because even the American government does not trust the Nigerian government. Does not trust the intelligence. That is why they have their surveillance aircraft in Ghana. Okay, why is the aircraft not in Nigeria? Why? Why is it in Ghana? Why does it take off from Ghana, carry out the surveillance operation and land back in Ghana. Why? If Nigeria is a faithful ally, our airports not good enough to have the aircraft in our airports. And if we are...
All right, I think we've lost a barrister there, and I hope that he would return, because this is so very sensitive that we discuss about it, because this brings us to the issue of the presidency stating from the Minister of Foreign Affairs that they had collaborated with the US to carry out the bombing in Sokoto, and lots of people disputed that it's not possible, that if they had carried out that together, that the secret would have been leaked to the insurgents even before now.
Exactly.
And what Sheikh Gumi has just revealed now points to the same thing. You could imagine a secret meeting, right, on security matters that were discussed, and the summary and who will be targeted was disclosed to Sheikh Gumi even beforehand, which shows that the federal government, to some extent, is complicit, is aware of some of the things happening, and are ready to work with some persons to avoid them being victims or casualties for whatever reason. You know,
some people didn't believe that the Nigerian government were, collaborated with the US to carry out that.
No, nobody even believed it, because we know that we do not have more than enough intelligence to
even the US, that's Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, has not even come to even say anything. Maybe Nigerian government collaborated with them and all that, and even our Nigerian president didn't even say anything.
Didn't say anything.
So that should even give us that. That should give us that feeling that, okay, we don't know if truly our Nigerian government collaborated.
And speaking about collaboration now, I do not know if Barrister had joined us, but just before he does do that, there's this saying that Sheikh Gumi had deleted all the posts he had made against the United States of America on all of his social media platforms.
He started with X. Yeah.
Okay, X, really?
Yes, he started with X, and then TikTok, because he has an account on TikTok too. And if you notice, you've not been seeing this bandits, you've not been seeing their pages.
These bandits have not been coming up, right?
Yes. I think
Barrister,
I guess this is
all right. Yeah, Barrister, thank you so very much for being back after that little short break. So you were stating some facts there before we had that little glitch.
Yeah, I don't know where I am again.
Still based on
you were still on to Sheikh Gumi and why you think Nigeria is not serious with its collaboration.
Yes, we're having a lot about security leaks on this information leaks on this insecurity issue, and that's because you have more sympathizers of insurgents more than the actual insurgents themselves in Nigeria. That's the truth, because since after the bomb, a lot of persons have been walking about with long faces, not happy about it. You can see the manifestation of that in Kano, where there's a protest now. They can't hide it any longer. A lot of persons, we have more sympathizers of the insurgents than the actual insurgents themselves. So in what country do you promote that kind of a thing? A group is killing people, exterminating, burning villages, destroying everyone. And then you have sect of persons, angry that the group is attacked. You have one man saying that they need not to attack them, and they are our children. They should grant them an amnesty. Sheikh Gumi should go and disprove that he's not a member. He shouldn't call people. Who is he calling? He's calling people to tell them to address them on what? It's his personal issue. He should go and deal with it. You face the United States and disprove the allegation.
But Barrister, what's your take on this? Sorry for interjecting there. What was your take? I was discussing with Kenny on the issue that Sheikh Gumi had deleted some of the posts he had made against the United States government, of course, promoting his brothers, the bandits who have been proscribed as terrorists now. Do you think that would save him in any way possible, knowing that all he deleted was from his own timeline and not from the back end of who owns the whole platform itself?
Whatever has been posted, whether you delete it or not delete it, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there. You delete from your own, you delete, for yourself. You understand? You cannot delete for everyone. So, if we had made such statements, I saw the news. A lot of people they want to delete them. Is deleting them to what end? So that will exonerate him or exculpate him from liability. He cannot be exculpated. Deleting it cannot be. The evidence is already out there. No, his track record has shown everything. Okay, and so it is not now that he wants to pull out from whatever it is. They should keep supporting them. He believes in them. He said they are our children. They said they are our children. We give them amnesty. We are supposed to pay them for attacking people and killing people all over the country, forcing people with their religion to do whatsoever. And we're supposed to pay them. Any religion that forces people through fear, intimidation, coercion, and violence to conform has already lost its own moral duty. Yes, has already lost its own moral test. Okay? So, and those, the proponent of that, the elements of that, have actually lost the moral test to, cohabit with others in the same society. And so that's why the United States, they will not condone it. And they did what they did unapologetically. And they will do more as long as we are not ready to put an end to this monster. But it's very peculiar with Nigeria, really. That's the truth. If you look at Nigerian state in modern times, anything that is holding them to the jugular, that is at their neck, that makes life unlivable for them, they will embrace that thing with their entire life.
Okay.
That is why they support their politicians till tomorrow. Whenever there's a protest or there is a revolution call that takes us to the brink of change, by the time a Nigerian gets to that brink of change, when it looks at what the change will look like, what it will be like, he looks back and remember his fellowship with poverty, hardship, insecurity, and all that. He will cave in back. He will go back to where he's coming from.
Okay,
he does not want to succeed.
Okay, but then again, right? What do you think? Sheikh Gumi has any legal protections on under Nigerian law, or should I just structure the question like this? What legal protections does Sheikh Gumi have under Nigerian law?
He has legal protection as a citizen. Is there protection in Nigeria? People are being killed every time. But, well, you are talking about an ideal situation. As a citizen, he has legal protection, okay? Except for his commitment to protecting insurgents, okay? Ordinarily, as a citizen, he's protected under the laws of the country, okay? But the fact that people are being killed, there is insecurity in the country and all that, and he's promoting the perpetrators of this, okay?
Yes.
Will mean that he has to be brought to justice. And since the Nigerian government will not do it, the US government wants to do it from the look of things. Because look at all over the world, when you have promoters like Osama bin Laden, promoted Al-Qaeda, was a leader, used to attack the US and attack a lot and all that. Well, they took him down. Go around other countries, from Saudi Arabia to the rest of that, where you've had all this people who may not even be direct, who protect evil. If you protect evil, you're an accomplice. That's what it is, even by law. Okay? You're not an accomplice on accessories after the fact. Okay, so you may not be a member, but the fact that it goes to them, and we have video footages of where he goes to them, negotiate with them, speak for them, promote them, ask for clemency for them, and the rest of that. He cannot expunge himself from the apron spring of the insurgents. He cannot. So it's virtually implicitly a part of them. Not what it is. So now that the consequences is nigh, like the Bible will say, it should not be crying. It should keep promoting them at every point in time and ensure that he keeps, since he believes in what they are doing. So he should also face the consequences.
Now, Barrister, I would love to be a little bit edgy here, and I would love you to permit me to do that. Is it okay to say that what Sheikh Gumi is doing and the consequences that would come, because we believe it would come, can be a semblance of what had happened to Nnamdi Kanu? Because if you look at it, juxtapose both together, they were all promoting terrorism to some extent. And Nnamdi Kanu, I would love to believe, a lot of the messages that he had on social media would ask his members to kill and maim officers, destroy places, and so on and so forth. So can we say both are one and the same? And therefore, since Nnamdi Kanu is serving life sentence, it's okay for Sheikh Gumi to equally go through the same route.
Nnamdi Kanu did not promote terrorism. He didn't promote terrorism. Nnamdi Kanu have a definite objective. And the objective was I was talking about secession. Secession because of certain conditions which I enumerated. Okay? In the course of doing that, he ran into the security arm. The government of Nigeria proscribed IPOB in 2017 as a terrorist organization. An organization that was not armed carrying at the time, was not into any form of violence, okay, was proscribed. Meanwhile, at the same time, Boko Haram have been attacking far back from 2009, 2004, 5, down. Okay, to the point where they had to, it got out of hand. Even in the mix of that, even when the soldiers sprang up too, the government left it uncontrolled. They did not even label them as terrorists until they sought for the Tucano jet. And the United States are not using the Tucano jet against any other set of persons until you have labeled them terrorists and gazetted it. This is only used against terrorists. You can't even pay for it. In fact, Obama didn't even allow it. It was Trump during his first tenure that allowed us to have it, but on those conditions, until they were labeled terrorists and all that, before the Tucano jets were released to us, we paid for it. Okay? So there are quite two different cases. This one, IPOB is not out there every day killing people, saying that Western education is evil. Going to villages, burn down everywhere, kill people, massacre, go to churches, kill. Nnamdi wasn't going to churches to kill people. He wasn't going to villages to kill people. So he didn't promote terrorism at all. Whatever it is the federal government did, they did it just to implicate him and to have him put an end to the agitation for secession. But that of Sheikh Gumi, he watches and sees these people kidnap people, ask for ransom, kill people, rape people, burn villages, destroy people's crops in their farms, ask them to pay money before they can access their farms, take over territories and put their flags there and the rest of that. And he kept promoting them. He kept speaking for them. He kept asking the federal government to pay them. He kept saying that they are our children, the people, and that the federal government should not harm them and the rest of that. So that is diametrically different from what Nnamdi Kanu stood for. And Sheikh Gumi's issue cannot be compared to what Nnamdi Kanu did or was doing at the time.
All right. So it's good that you clarified this. Now let's talk about Benjamin Netanyahu's involvement in all of this. In a lot of the statement he had made, he had said he would ensure that Christians in Nigeria are safeguarded, are protected. And I'd love to read a long list of people that have been killed by Benjamin, by the Israeli forces. We have Abu Abaida, a longtime spokesperson of Hamas military wing, reportedly killed by Israeli strike in Gaza 2025. Hakam Mohammed Isa al-Isa, co-founder and senior commander of Hamas, linked to the October 7 attack, killed in June of 2025. Hassan Farhat, Hamas commander, killed in Lebanese airstrike April of 2025. All of this is just little that were killed in 2025. Now that Israel is fully involved in Nigeria's case, do we see a repeat of what's happening in Gaza equally happening in the northern part of Nigeria? And what would this do to our unity as one country?
Well, the days so far will determine all that. Right now, it is clear that the insurgents are unrepentant, and they've demonstrated it. And it's also now the Americans have seen the extent to which they also have sympathizers. Okay, and then the sympathizers should know that the bullets prepared for each of the insurgents can be as much as the bullet prepared for their sympathizers. Yeah, because a sympathizer is a conspirator, is a culprit. You are not happy because they want to take out insecurity from your country. Means that you condone it, you are an enabler. Under the law, an enabler is not a principal offender. It's supposed to get a lesser sentence. That's if we are using the law to promulgate what's going on. But right now, it's not the law that's being used. It's extrajudicial process. And the extrajudicial process cannot filter who is an actual insurgent from who is a sympathizer. So those who sympathize, they should get ready for the days to come. Yes, we are not going to tell them what is going to happen to them, but they should get ready, and they should keep defending them at the face of any opposition. They should keep defending them. Okay? Since they believe in them, they should keep it up. Because everyone's prayer is that peace return to Nigeria. But some persons, especially the ones protesting, their prayer is that insurgency should continue. If it's not evil, why should you, if you are not evil, why should you condone evil? Why should you condone evil? You understand? So the Christians must practice their religion. Nigeria was never an Islamic state. The fact that the military took us to the IOC and all those organizations and enlist us into Islamism does not mean Nigeria is not. Nigeria is a Christian state. Nigeria believes in the God of the Bible. Nigerians believe in it. You allow them to practice it. Nigeria believes Nigeria is a country. It was stated in the Bible that Abraham was looking for a country with a foundation whose builder is God.
But don't you think, Barrister, don't you think you are going against the secular nature of Nigeria? Nigeria is not predominantly a Christian country. It should be called a secular state.
It's not a Christian country. It's not an Islamic country. That's what I'm telling you. For some persons, do you know that Babangida took us to the IOC? took us to the Islamic, what is this? IOC they call it, or and enlisted us there. Is there an Islamic state? As much as it's not a Christian state, it's not an Islamic state, it's a secular state by the constitution. Okay? And so if people are going extreme, they should be called to order. So that is only what is happening. So we cannot turn Nigeria into what you have in Afghanistan and some of these other countries. But some people want us to get there. What we have in our hands is enough. The poverty is enough. The unemployment is enough. The issue of kidnapping is just enough. We can't add this to it.
Yes, Barrister, just before we let you go, finally, I would love to ask, it's becoming a lot complex, and every leader from any part of the country would be seen to be going for his own region as we stand today. If we have a Peter Obi today and he becomes the president, the northern part of Nigeria would say that the Igbo man wants to eliminate them. And now we have a Yoruba man as the president. Even if he's a Muslim, the Muslims are still saying that he's working with the US to eliminate them. So who do you think can solve all of this conundrum that we find ourselves today in Nigeria? Is it ever possible for us to have a united Nigeria where we can look up to one man and say, yeah, he is fair to everyone and there won't be rancor?
It's possible if you address the issues dispassionately. I mean, nobody's saying a Yoruba president want to eliminate others, or an Igbo president want to eliminate. Those are just street talk. They are street talk. Okay, Nigeria is supposed to protect her citizens. That's the baseline. The Constitution states that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Security and welfare of the people. We didn't say the Muslims or Christians or Yorubas or whatsoever. No tribe, no tongue and all that. Everyone. The mandate is to protect lives and properties. That's the mandate. That is why I'm against the sympathizers of the enemies of states. And why they are asking the government to give them amnesty and all that. Why? So the truth is that when it comes to killing people, when it comes to humanity, countries will put forth resistance. If the country under reference is not able to handle it, countries will spring up on different places to defend the issue under reference. Yes, because for once, they said the insurgent is not against Christians. They said it's not against Christians. They're saying that all the time. But the ISIS released a video. I don't know that you saw the video. 3 days ago.
Yes.
When they were asking people to convert to Islam when they will be killed.
Right.
Or, the congressman, the U.S. congressman, Moore, said it that if there have been any doubt all this while as regards whether the attack is against Christians or not, that the video released by ISIS has put an end to that debate. Because now they are saying it outrightly. I know this, when they say things, they carry it out. When they make statements like this, they carry it out. They will go and start asking people to convert. Okay? But they are fighting for God. And they want to help God to promote a belief system. A belief system that has failed its own moral test. That you need to employ violence. I need to employ all sorts of dehumanizing conditions to promote any God that we need you to assist him with violence and the rest of that has failed in the first place. So Sheikh Gumi should not, as a target, or that has been informed allegedly as a target, should not be crying all over the place. If you believe in a cause, they'll be ready to die for it. Since That is what he embraced. To be able to embrace it at all costs, at the cost of his life, at the cost of anything. That's what he believes in.
All right. Interestingly, as part of that excerpt, right, Sheikh Gumi said that Northerners, he doesn't know why Northerners are quiet.
Okay, they are quiet.
Yes,
so
that they should revolt, you know, some of the things. Allegedly, on that same video, he said that a particular amount was brought into Nigeria, right? And the amount was meant to take care of Christians. And how can leaders stay and watch that kind of thing happen? That it's better they rejected that kind of amount that's not meant for that is not meant for everyone.
Yes, for everyone.
Right, but for particular persons and so on. And lest I forget, you know, Sheikh Gumi's son just graduated from the Nigerian Defense Academy. So he's now a second lieutenant. Wow. So you know what that means. Right, so it's lots of complex issue. He was even once a soldier, Sheikh Gumi himself. You know, so it's a very a crazy situation there. But of course,
do you think the U.S. government will later come for him?
Well, we don't know. It's a developing story right here on Enterprise Television. As it unfolds, it's a promise that we would make them known, get people to analyze some of these things and look at them from different vantage points, and hope that you would make your decision from everything that we have to talk about. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for being here. We truly do appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Beautiful.
My pleasure.
So let's call it a wrap for this particular episode and say thank you. Wherever it is you've streamed, you've watched from around the world, we'd love to say thank you. Gracias for making that time. Please do well to follow us. You can find us at Enterprise TV News